Howdy friends, we're talking all things food today, but here on Pikes Peak, food can be a little more complicated than you might think. What animals eat in the wild is carefully connected to their bodies, their habitats, and the balance of the mountain ecosystem. A snack that seems harmless to us can actually be super dangerous for wildlife. So let's dig into this episode of Ranger Talks to Go.
Ranger Talks to Go. Ranger Talks to Go. Ranger Talks to Go. Ranger Talks to Go. Ranger Talks to Go.
I hope you're feeling a little hungry because today we're shifting gears and stepping into our very own show within a show. Welcome to Wild Chef, nature's perfect menu.
Wild Chef.
I'm your host, Ranger Mack, also known today as Wild Chef, coming to you from Pikes Peak, America's mountain. And on today's menu, we'll be preparing gourmet meals for some of the mountain's most important local diners. We've got 3 very special guests joining us today. You might see one around mile 18 on the Pikes Peak Highway. It's the cliff-climbing bighorn sheep. Living at 8,000 feet and above, it's the tiny but mighty pika. And it's a bird, it's a plane. No wait, it actually is a bird. It's the powerful sky-soaring golden eagle. Now these animals don't need a restaurant, a drive-thru, or a picnic basket. They already have exactly what they need right here in nature. Each one has a diet specially matched to its body, behavior, and habitat. But here's the tricky part. When people leave food behind, drop crumbs, or try to feed wildlife, we can accidentally add the wrong ingredients to nature's perfect menu. And one wrong ingredient? Well, that can be a recipe for disaster. So grab your imaginary chef hat, keep your ears open, and let's see what's cooking on Pikes Peak. Alright, I've got my big chef's bowl right here in front of me, and we're starting with a mountain classic. Today's first dish is the bighorn sheep strength salad. This hearty meal is perfect for bighorn sheep, especially those strong rams that climb steep cliffs, balance on rocky slopes, and butt heads during the rut or mating season. Now, bighorn sheep are built for mountain life. Their hooves are specially adapted to grip rocky terrain, and their bodies are made to handle tough, rugged landscapes. But to keep those bodies moving, they need the right kind of fuel. So first into our bowl goes a generous handful of native grasses. These grasses may not look fancy to us, but for our bighorn sheep, they're packed with fiber their digestive system needs. Bighorn sheep are herbivores, which means they only eat plants. Like many plant-eating animals, their stomachs are designed to break down rough vegetation slowly and carefully. Next, we'll add some mountain shrubs. These can be chewy, tough, and full of nutrients. Shrubs help provide energy, especially in places where soft green plants may be harder to find. Living at higher elevations means animals have to make the most of what grows naturally around them. And finally, we'll add a little sprinkle of natural minerals, like salts found in rocks or soil. Minerals are important for a lot of wild animals. They can help support muscles, nerves, bones, and overall health. You might actually see a bighorn sheep stopping to lick a rock or two to get those natural mineral sources. So far, this salad looks pretty good. Native grasses, mountain shrubs, and natural minerals. But let's go ahead and double all those ingredients to fill the bighorn sheep's 4-part stomach. Okay, now that's a strong wild meal for a strong wild animal. But what if someone tossed in a cheese ball? A cheese ball might be a nice snack at your picnic, but for a bighorn sheep, that is not food their body is built to handle. Processed foods can actually cause serious problems for wildlife. They may be too salty, too fatty, or full of ingredients animals can't digest properly. And dairy? Well, that can be especially rough on wild animals because, well, when are they ever digesting dairy in nature? Talk about lactose intolerant. For a bighorn sheep, people food can lead to stomach pain, bloating, poor nutrition, and unhealthy behavior. If wildlife starts connecting people with food, they may begin approaching roads, parking areas, or visitor spaces, which can put both animals and people in danger. So let's take that cheese ball right back out of the bowl. The perfect bighorn sheep strength salad includes native grasses, mountain shrubs, and natural minerals. No cheese balls, no crackers, no picnic leftovers. Keep your snacks for yourself and let the bighorn sheep stick to their wild mountain menu. Alright, our next diner is much smaller, so we'll need to look and listen carefully. Shh, I think I hear someone. You might hear a tiny squeak or a high-pitched call coming from the rocks. That little voice belongs to one of Pikes Peak's most fascinating animals, the pika. Now at first glance, a pika might look like a little mouse without the long tail. But surprise, pikas aren't rodents. They belong to a group called lagomorphs, which means they're more closely related to rabbits and hares. Pikas live at high elevations. On Pikes Peak, you might spot them in rocky areas like Devil's Playground around mile 16. Their coloring helps them blend in, so sometimes you'll hear them before you see them. Now today, we're preparing one of their specialties, the Pika's perfect winter hay pile. Sometimes we refer to pikas as tiny mountain farmers, and for good reason. They don't hibernate through winter. Instead, during the warmer months, they work hard collecting plants and storing them in little piles, called hay piles. Imagine a tiny animal running across the rocks with a little bouquet of flowers in its mouth. Cute? Absolutely. Important? Very. Those hay piles are survival food. When snow covers the mountain and fresh plants are hard to find, pikas rely on the dried plants they gathered earlier in the year. So into our pika dish, we'll add a stack of alpine wildflowers for variety, then a handful of dried grasses, nice and crispy, and finally a pinch of mountain leaves. There we go, a winter feast fit for a pint-sized mountain king. But what if a hiker accidentally drops a granola bar? At first, that might not seem like a big deal. It has oats, maybe nuts, maybe fruit. Sounds kinda natural, right? Not so fast. Granola bars are made for people, not pikas, so they often contain sugar, oils, chocolate, preservatives, and other ingredients that do not belong in a pika's diet. For a tiny animal, even a small amount of people food can be a big problem. Sugar can give a quick burst of energy, but it provides no nutrition a pika needs. It can upset their stomach, affect their behavior, and fill their tummies, leaving no room for wild plants they depend on. And pikas have another challenge. They're super sensitive to heat. They're adapted for cool mountain environments, and extra stress on their bodies can be dangerous. Rising earth temperatures are making it really hard for them to survive in the first place, so we gotta do what we can to protect them. Which also means not picking flowers or plants. We don't want to take away from their resources. The perfect pika meal is made of dried wild plants, grasses, flowers, and leaves collected from its natural habitat. No granola bars, no candy, no chocolate chips. For pikas, the best food is the food they gather themselves. Now it's time for our last and fiercest guest. The ruler of the skies, the master hunter, the golden-eyed glider of the mountain winds. Okay, too much. Please welcome the golden eagle. They have sharp talons, excellent eyesight, strong wings, and the ability to spot movement from far away. On and around Pikes Peak, you might be lucky enough to see one soaring high overhead or hunting across open areas. I've seen these incredible birds around places like Crystal Reservoir near mile 6 on the Pikes Peak Highway. Their dish is called the Golden Eagle's Power Prey Plate. Now, golden eagles are carnivores, which means they eat meat. They hunt live prey and may also feed on carrion, which is the remains of animals that have already died. Their diet can include animals like rabbits, ground squirrels, mice, and other small animals, depending on what's available. So for the main course, we'll add some natural prey items, rabbits and mice packed with protein. Protein helps fuel strong muscles for flying, hunting, and surviving in tough conditions. And we'll add in a few bones, too. That might sound strange to us, but bones can provide important minerals like calcium. For birds of prey, a natural diet helps support strong bones, sharp talons, and overall health. So far, this is exactly the kind of meal a golden eagle is built for. But what happens if a rodent has been eating potato chips or other human snacks? Now things get a little messy. A chip is pretty delicious to us, but salty, greasy, processed food can move through the food chain. If small animals eat our trash or leftovers, and then a predator eats those animals, the problem can travel upward. Golden eagles and other predators are part of a delicate natural system. When people food enters that system, it can affect more than just the animals that ate the snack first. Chips and other processed foods are often high in salt, oils, and artificial ingredients. Salt can contribute to dehydration and weakness, and unhealthy food can affect an animal's ability to survive. This is one reason it's so important to keep picnic areas, trails, parking lots, and overlooks clean. A crumb here and a chip there might not seem like much, but on a busy mountain like Pikes Peak, those bits can add up quickly. The golden eagle's power prey plate should be all natural and all wild. Real prey and real nutrients. No chips, no sandwich crusts, no leftovers, no trash. Just nature's menu exactly as it should be. Well, folks, that's a wrap on today's episode of Wild Chef, Nature's Perfect Menu.
Wild Chef.
We prepared a strength salad for bighorn sheep, a winter hay pile for pika, and a power prey plate for golden eagles. And along the way, we learned something important. Wildlife already has a menu. Even when feeding wildlife feels kind or harmless, it can cause real problems. And this applies to all wildlife, not just the animals we talked about today. Whether it's a chipmunk, a marmot, a squirrel, a deer, a bird, a pika, a bighorn sheep, or any other wild animal, the best thing we can do is give them space and let them find their own food. That also means we should never approach wildlife to try to feed them, take a close photo, or get their attention. Wild animals are busy surviving. They're out here finding food, watching for danger, caring for young, resting, and saving energy. After all, you wouldn't want someone walking up and interrupting your dinner, would you? So here are 3 easy ways you can help protect wildlife on Pikes Peak and anywhere else you explore. If it's not on nature's menu, don't feed it to animals. Do your best not to leave behind crumbs, wrappers, fruit peels, or trash, not even a little bit. Follow leave no trace and pack it in, pack it out. That means anything you bring with you should leave with you too. Now you've got the knowledge to help protect wildlife on Pikes Peak and anywhere else you may see animals in the wild. Thanks for listening. The world needs more people like you who care about the wild places and wild neighbors around them. To keep exploring, check out more Ranger Talks to Go episodes. And for younger adventurers in your group, Junior Ranger Talks to Go has kid-friendly lessons and activities too. Until next time, Peak Pals, this is Ranger Mack, aka Wild Chef, signing off for now.
Ranger Talks to Go.